Well, welcome back to The Megan Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is going to be a makeup tutorial on this look, sparkly eyeshadow. I'm going to take you through step by step how I achieved it. Stay tuned. The Megan Show. First step for me for any makeup routine is pulling back my hair. So I've got my trusty little cat ear headband that I made in college for a Halloween costume like 100 years ago. So I just get my hair out of my face, probably go ahead and put it to the back just so it's out of the way. And I always go in with a lip balm first. I can't do anything without putting a lip balm on. This is my go-to. My absolute favorite is the Fresh Sugar. I, in the winter, need a lot of moisture. I think I have like combination skin. In the summer, it's certainly oily around the T-zone area, but in the winter, it's especially dry and especially around my mouth area. So I like really lay on the moisture. Now, this isn't eye cream specifically, but I go ahead and put it all over my face because why not? I'll get that soaking in. So next I go in with another layer of moisture. This is just a Garnier 3-in-1 serum gel. My favorite moisturizer is the Clinique Moisture Surge. I'm trying to save it because it goes quickly. In the winter time, I find that I don't necessarily need a primer as much anyway because I'm not sweating. You know, I'm not in very harsh conditions, especially if I'm just going to work where I sit in the office all day. I don't necessarily need all the extra work that primers can help your makeup. My makeup will still last without them. Alright, for foundation, my go-to is the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie foundation. I love that it has the doe foot applicator, so I just literally swipe it right on. It has the pump too, but this is even easier, and I just like getting it, you know, all over the face. Get my hair out of the way. It just makes it so easy to spread it on because with foundation, for me, that is honestly one of the most important steps to get right. You want to get your base nice and even. If you don't blend out the base nicely, then the rest of your makeup isn't going to look as great, in my opinion. So right now I'm on a foundation brush kick. In the summer, I'm very much a beauty blender, makeup sponge girl, but in the winter, I am good with using the makeup brush. I just really take my time blending this in. Right now I'm focusing on the cheek, I'm getting in that jawline and making sure I'm blending away any line that is going to be left around the jawline. Going underneath the chin, around the jaw. Already looking a little better. Alright, and you want to step back. Of course, I've got a mirror down here, and it shows my whole face at all times. So like, I am really big about seeing the whole picture at all times. Like, I always crack up in the years of YouTube, all the girls that are able to hold a tiny compact and do their makeup in that. That's not me. I need an entire mirror that sees my entire face at all times because I just really need to see how everything is looking all at once. So just going around, taking time to go around the lips and the mouth so you don't have rogue lines from the foundation. Alright, I think we're looking pretty blended out. So we're gonna move on to concealer. I'm really loving the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer right now. The coverage on it is really good for me. I really like a concealer brush. This one from Real Techniques does really nice. Gets right up it under there. Because again, similar to the foundation, having your concealer be blended perfectly or as close as perfect as you can is crucial for your base to look the best it can. I'm just making short dabbing motions. Now I have a lot of eyelid space, as you can see, and if you can see the difference, not putting concealer on it versus putting concealer on it, It's quite veiny and red without it, so it just gives me a nice clean base for whatever eyeshadow look I'm gonna do. I don't really plan ahead on a given day. I'll probably do something sparkly today for eyeshadow. We're going to see some Christmas lights, so I want to do something a little bit holiday, but nothing too extravagant. Now, putting concealer on the eyelid acts as my eyeshadow primer. I haven't used a specific eyeshadow primer in years because putting the concealer on just does the trick for me. I'm really focusing on getting right under that lash line because I want that to be as smooth as it can be. I'm also focusing on blending out the edges. You know, you blend it out to a point and then you want to blend that edge into the rest of your foundation so it looks nice and seamless. Okay, I think we're looking all right. I'm gonna go ahead and powder that. I've got a few different under eye powders that I like, but this is just a CoverGirl True Blend that works just fine for me. I don't really put powder anywhere else on my face, I should say face powder, other than right under the eye. I'm just really focusing on making sure I'm covering that concealer that I just hit, and I'm getting right over, for the eyelid, and getting right in that crease because I'm wanting to, you know, make sure that stays nice and smooth. You don't want any creases on the eyelid if you can help it. So I'm just getting under the eyes here, blending all the way to that edge that we, you know, hopefully blended away. And then I kind of just look at my face and see what's shining, and I just dab it real quickly with a little bit of powder. I'm putting powder on the nose. You know, nose is the first to go when it comes to foundation a lot of times. I also get around my mouth because, you know, as you talk, all of the makeup's gonna move, so I just wanna put a little bit of powder. Nothing too serious. Again, it is winter, so it's not like I'm gonna be, you know, sweating all my makeup off, so just dabbing it in the areas that I need it. For cheeks, I'm gonna go ahead and go with one of my favorite face palettes right now, and that is the Hourglass Lighting Edits. This is their holiday one that I got in October when it came out. This was the Jellyfish one. Super pretty. I got the lighter shade one for, you know, us pale gals like me. So I always go bronzer, blush, highlight. I'm gonna hit that cheek right at starting towards the hairline and moving forward. Just going kind of, my cheeks, you know, I'm used to doing my own makeup. I've, you know, done my own face for so long, so I kind of know where to put things. But I'm really focusing on, you know, you see where the cheekbone is, I'm putting it right on the cheekbone. You know, long ago in the, you know, maybe 2010s, 14, 15, 16, it was all about the contour, and they put it kind of below that cheekbone, so that maybe can draw the face down, make the shadows maybe not hitting the right spot, but I put bronzer right on that cheekbone and kind of put it in that diagonal type of line. Then I hit my temples and I go straight over the forehead. I think I've got a rather short forehead. I jokingly call it a 3-head sometimes, but I really love a bronzer, so I'm going to put it straight over my forehead. Now I'm coming down the other side. I'm going to go ahead and hit this other cheek, hit it in the right spots here. And you can see in the mirror that, you know, it's just really bringing life back to the perimeter of the face. Now I go ahead and do the nose too. I don't like leaving the nose out. My complexion is rather fair, so leaving that bright, pale nose just doesn't always look as great in my opinion. So I go ahead and just hit it with a little bit of bronzer. So then that leaves maybe the under eye looking bright, but then the rest of the perimeter of the face having some color. I'm actually just gonna hit both of the blushes because I don't really care, and they both have great finishes. Tapped off the excess. I'm gonna go right on the apple of the cheek first. Then I'm gonna go right towards that hairline, basically right on top of the bronzer. Focusing on the apple first and then just blending it in with the bronzer. You don't want any separation of where you can tell where the blush ends and the bronzer ends. You want it to all meld together. Maybe hitting the top of the nose, over top of the eyebrows, just to kind of bring everything together. I'm going to finish with the highlighter. This has a beautiful pearlescent highlighter that I just kind of rub with one of the other shades in the palette. It's not necessarily shimmery, but it's just one of their finishing powders, so it just goes nicely together. Hitting the top of that cheekbone, and then I'm hitting the eyebrow too, that nice C shape. I'm hitting the eyebrow bone and hitting the top of that cheekbone. Top of the cheek, hitting the eyebrow. I'm gonna go right down the nose, a little bit on the middle of the forehead. Just about any eye look, I start out with a cream shade in the inner corners just to bring light to that area before I then go in with whatever other eyeshadow shades I'm gonna go with. I just like bringing a lighter cream onto that inner corner. You might be able to see the difference here. Again, I'm pretty fair, so even though this is a bright white eyeshadow, it essentially acts as just like a brightener on the inner eye. Now I go ahead and bring it all the way up to the inner front of the eyebrow. It's just a look I'm used to doing, and I just like the light that it brings to the eye. Once you put other eyeshadows down, this doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. It kind of just blends together. So I'm just placing that white. You can see it kind of just brings light to the inner part of the eye. I'm going to go into my custom Colourpop palette that I made a long time ago, just from bringing a lot of singles. I have made kind of like a colorful palette with a lot of browns. This is a go-to for a lot of looks when I kind of don't really have a plan, but I just know that I want some shades that are gonna make a solid look. So I'm just kind of gonna go and mix a couple of the lighter browns, tap off the excess. I'm just kind of going back and forth in that crease, windshield wiper motions, just getting that brown spread throughout the crease. Now I'm gonna bring it down to the outer corner. So I want everything to be seamless. Dabbing back and forth, just making it a rounded shape here. I'm kind of going up towards the eyebrow bone, just getting it all blended into a nice shape. All right, you can kind of see the difference there. You might maybe even tell how the white is looking less stark with the brown already blended in. So I'm gonna do the other eye. Just toggling back and forth between these two lighter browns here. This one and this one here. Same thing, starting right in the center of the crease and going back and forth. I'm sure you've heard from many other beauty YouTubers that wherever you place your brush first is where the most color is going to land. So placement is key when you want the color to go in the right spot. Bringing it down to the outer corner. Bringing it upwards and outwards to get that nice rounded shape. Now, as with all of our eyes being shaped differently from each other, also each individual eye can be shaped differently. So I've got more width on this eye than this eye. This eye is a little, just slightly more narrow in width compared to my right eye. And that just makes for a funny little thing to notice, but no big deal. You just work with whatever shape of eyes you have, and you'll learn over time with practice what looks best on you. So now I'm just kind of getting on that edge and making sure there's no harsh edge, just kind of blending it out. As you can see, they're kind of similar, just nice brown in there. Now I'm going to go in with a sparkly shade all over the eyelid now. So I've got this really cool Pat McGrath Labs holiday little palette here. It is so pretty. I love the sparkly shades in it. And I'm gonna go in with that middle one right there. I'm just gonna go in with my finger because with shimmery shades like this, finger is usually the best applicator. So I went right on the center of the eyelid. I'm gonna tilt my head back a little, looking in the mirror, I'm gonna get on that inner corner there, and then I'm gonna bring it up. Now I've got my finger in my crease, and I'm still going more vertical. I'm just bringing it up, bringing a little bit higher, but not exceeding the brown shape that we've made. I'm keeping the shimmer on the inside of what we've created. So you can see how it shines in the light, looks really pretty. Get the other eye here. Now I'm gonna use that same finger that I just cleaned off and get the little bit lighter shimmer for right on the very inner corner. Dabbing it right over that white shade that we put down first. So now we've got a nice bit of shimmer. All right, so now I'm gonna bring a little bit of definition to the outer corner and the lash line, and then we'll be almost done with the eyeshadow. I'm gonna stick with this Pat McGrath palette for the outer corner. So I'm gonna get this kind of plummy color here. I'm gonna get this flat brush, make sure we tap off the edge, and I'm gonna go into the lower lash line first. Now my whole goal is to stay as close to the lash line as possible. So I'm just going to take tiny little motions, basically hitting the lashes, the lower lashes, and trying to hit nothing else. So you can kind of already see the difference of the little bit of definition we're getting. I'm gonna get this lower lash line. All right, now I'm gonna get the top lash line. I'm only gonna take that about a third of the way in from the outer corner. All right, you can kind of see. Kind of bringing it up a little bit in a tiny triangle type of shape. So we first hit the lash line, now I'm kind of angling the brush up a little bit, making a tiny little triangle on the outer edge there. So for mascara, I'm gonna look into the mirror and hit my lashes, make sure we're hitting them from the base of the lashes. I'm kind of blinking onto the mascara wand, really trying to work hard to keep my lashes from hitting my top of my eyelid, trying to avoid that. So I've got my head angled this way. Hitting the lower lashes now, being very careful to not get messy under the eyes here. Oh, I feel wetness already. Let me try to get that. Okay, all right, there's the eyes. I've got the e.l.f. eyebrow pencil right now. For me, I'm just kind of filling in the holes. I used to have quite thick eyebrows growing up when I was a little kid. Then I plucked them all off when I was about 16. And from then on, I've worked to try to get them to be as close as they can look, but they're never gonna look alike, and that's okay. Just trying to clean up the shape of the eyebrow here. Bringing down tail. I love the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. I've got a couple small sizes from different gift sets I've gotten. Lipstick for me is just a way to bring color back to the lips. And I love a lip stain or a lip balm that I can just reapply throughout the evening. All right, let's take the cat ears off. See what we've got here. All right, I think that's the finished makeup look for today. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more makeup content. And I've got a lot of other ideas for new videos coming soon. Thank you so much for watching The Megan Show. Bye.